Very good morning, my dear students. I am happy to see you once again through the online classes. Time. Yes, time is more precious than anything. So, you will be ever to using the time period in this quarantine period by utilizing these online classes. I hope you. So, last class we had discussed about some topics about electrostatic induction, dielectrics, polar and non-polar molecule, capacitors and capacitance between the parallel plate capacitors. I think it is a good way to enrich your knowledges to listening and completing the assignments. Okay, good. Today we are seeing more about few topics related with capacitors, the capacitors connected in series and parallel, energy stored in a capacitors, and in case of we are inserting a dielectric in between of the capacitors. That's all. Okay, good. Capacitor. Capacitor, already we know that capacitor is a device which is used to store electric charge, not only charge, and also stores us energy. Capacitors widely used for us many electronic devices in electronic circuit and having applications in many areas of science and technology. Today, what we going to see about the topic of energy stored in the capacitor. Energy stored in the capacitor. In this diagram, we are taken as two parallel metal plates act as a capacitor, and plate number 1 and plate number 2. The two parallel plate capacitors are connected by a battery. A battery is connected. When the two parallel metal plate is connected by a battery is producing charge to the metal plate 1. The metal plate 1 accused of positive charges. The metal plate 2 accused of negative charges due to the electrostatic induction. According to electrostatic induction, there is no physical contact of the two metal plates. Due to the induction, the plate 2 accused of negative charges due to positive charge. So both the positive and negative charges are magnitudely equal and the charge will be different. Here taken as negative and this one is taken as positive. Okay, good. So in this diagram, look at carefully. The charges. The electrons transfer from the metal plate 2 to the metal plate 1. So some amount of charge can be transferred the plate number 2 to plate number 1. So some work has been done. The work will be stored as a energy in the capacitor. The work will be stored in the energy like as electrostatic energy to the capacitor. So suddenly when you arise the questions, so where does the energy will be stored? Where does the energy will be stored? Okay, let's see. Here dq is as infinitesimally charged. Infinitesimal is nothing but a small amount of charges. A small amount of charges here taken as a small amount of charges transfer from one plate to another plate by the potential difference V. So some work has done by dW equal to VdQ. So we know that already capacitance formula C equal to Q by V, charge per potential difference. So we modify the equation C equal to Q by V as V equal to Q by C. So we can substitute the value of V in this point. So the amount of work done dW equal to V represent as Q by C into dQ. Here the work done will be small amount of work done. So we can calculate the total amount of work done to the charge a capacitor. So we can find the total amount of work done. We needed a W, so they integrate the terms of dW. Beginningly, there is no charge transfer from the plate of 2 to 1. Finally, the total charge can be Q. The Q charge can be transferred from metal plate 2 to metal plate 1. So, the limit will be, we are taken as 0 to Q. So, the term TW will be write as integral over 0 to Q, Q by C into dQ. Here, C will be constant, so take it outside of the integration. So remaining part, integral over 0 to Q, Q into dQ. We know the formula of integration already discussed. X into dx equal to x power n plus 1 by n plus 1. Here the power will be 1, consider as 1. So same similar way is integral over Q into dQ equal to Q squared by 2. So we can write as the constant 1 by C, write as remaining Q squared by 2, upper limit 0, the lower limit Q, substitute the value. The upper limit Q is replaced to the inside part Q squared. So Q squared by 2 minus lower limit. We can put the value of 0 replaces Q, so 0 squared by 2. So the terms will be 0. The remaining term will be Q squared by 2C. The work is stored as an electrostatic potential in the capacitor. The work done will be stored as a electrostatic potential in the capacitor. So W can be, we can write as UE, electrostatic energy. So equal to Q squared by 2C. Since we know that Q equal to CV, substitute the value of this into this. So Q squared equal to C square V squared by 2C. C, the power of 1 will be reduced. So remaining electrostatic potential energy UE equal to 1 by 2 CV squared. Already we know that, or we derived the capacitance between two parallel metal plate C equal to epsilon naught A by D. And we have discussed about earlier the relationship between potential and electric field will be V equal to AD. Substitute the two value in this equations. So UE equal to 1 by 2 C, whereas C equal to epsilon naught A by D and V square. So V square we can write as E square into D square. So neglect the terms of D and one of the power will be reduces by D square. So it can be D. So we can write as UE equal to 1 by 2 epsilon naught AD and E square. Why we are taking as bracket over means AD is this volume. Okay. Next, we can measure the energy density. Energy density is nothing but the energy stored per unit volume. Energy stored per unit volume of the space is called as energy density. So energy density UE, small e equal to, we know that 1 by 2 epsilon naught AD into E square divided by volume AD. So AD and AD will be neglected. Remaining terms will be UE equal to 1 by 2 epsilon naught E square. This is an electrostatic potential energy. In this equation, UE equal to 1 by 2 epsilon naught E square tells us as simply the energy stored in the electric field existing between the plates of the capacitor. The energy can only stored in between of the plate of the parallel plate capacitor. So in this region the energy can be stored. The another important aspect is the energy. The energy density only depending upon the charges, electric charges, not depending upon the size of the parallel plate capacitor. Only depending upon the electric field, not depending upon the size of the parallel plate capacitor. And one more thing, the diagram tells us once the capacitor is allowed to discharge, the energy is retrieved, which means the energy, the negative charge can be transferred from metal plate 2 to metal plate 1. So the negative charges neutralize the positive charges. It can be discharged. The similar way, all the negative charge can be discharged the positive charges. So the capacitor will be reduces its charges. The charge can be retrieved following this way. So the charges can be transferred and neutralize the positive charges. So the capacitor discharges its charge in the ways of retrieve. For example, we are taken as the emergency light. The light can be beginningly stored as charges. In case of the power will be off, we can using the emergency light. The light can be retrieved due to the process of discharges. Next, we are going to see applications of capacitor. Capacitors are used in various electronic circuits. A few of the applications. First one, we are very familiar to photographic digital camera. When we take a photograph, the flash which comes from the camera is due to the energy of the capacitor, which is called as flash capacitor. This is one of the first application. Second one is we know the diagram and the devices in most of the movie, and also we are seeing day-to-day life as well as cardiac arrest device. The device is called as heart defibrillator, which is used to give a sudden surge of large amount of electric energy to the patient chest to retrieve the normal heart function. This is defibrillator uses a capacitor of 175 microfarad, charge of high voltage around us 2000 voltage. Mostly we are see in the devices. This is the one of the applications of capacitors. And also the third one, capacitors is used as the ignition system of the automobiles engines to eliminate sparkling. Most of the eliminating devices we can reduce this by the eliminating of sparking by using of capacitor. And fourth one, reduce the flux situations. This means fluctuations in the power supplies and increase the efficiency of the power transmissions. These are the advantages of capacitors. And one more thing, and some disadvantages also having capacitors. Even after the battery or power supply is removed, the capacitor stores the charge and energy for some time. For example, if the TV is switched off, it is always advisable to not touch to back the side of the TV panel. Is nothing but once we are off the TV, don't touch the back side of the panel after few time, after take some times. This is the advantages of capacitors. Next topic we are going to see about effect of dielectric in capacitors. The term dielectric is nothing but which is non-conducting materials is called as dielectric, and also which has no free electrons. In earlier we have discussed that the space between the parallel plate capacitor either empty or filled with air. Suppose the dielectric is filled with the capacitor is filled with a dielectric like as mica, glass or paper or introduced between the plates. The capacitance of a capacitor is altered. There are two different ways. The first one is when the capacitor is disconnected from the battery. First one, consider a capacitor of two parallel plate capacitor having a cross section area A and separated at a distance of D, this distance. The charge is stored as Q0. The capacitance of a capacitor without dielectric, so we can write as C0 equal to Q0 by V0. In second case, look at the picture. The first diagram will be connected in the battery. In suppose the battery is removed. In second cases, there is no battery. The battery is removed when the dielectric is inserted between of your two parallel plate capacitor shown in the figure. The introduction of dielectric between the two parallel metal plate, which is decrease the electric field. Here the electric field is more when compared to this one. So the modified electric field is given by E equal to E naught by epsilon naught. In this case, E naught is the electric field inside the capacitors when there is no electric field, which means dielectric. Epsilon r is the dielectric constant. Since the epsilon r greater than 1 and electric field E less than E naught. As the result, the electrostatic potential difference between the electric plates V equal to ED is also reduced. But the same time the charge does not changes, Q naught will be remains constant. Because of the battery is removed, the charge particle does not move at anywhere. Only the charge particles representers stay at the inside of your dielectric. So hence the new potential difference between the parallel plate capacitors is V equal to ED. So already we know that E equal to epsilon naught by epsilon r. So we can substitute the value of E in these equations. So we rewrite as this V equal to E equal to epsilon naught by epsilon r and to D. Then after we write as epsilon naught into D as V naught. So V equal to V naught by epsilon r. Already know that capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor C equal to Q by V. Whereas the capacitance of a capacitor increases, whereas C value increases and also increases of Q. In the capacitors increases, the potential difference V also decreases because of C is inversely proportional to the V. So the new capacitance of a presence of a dielectric is C equal to Q naught by V, which implies Q naught, whereas V equal to V naught by epsilon r. So substitute the value of V. So C equal to Q naught by V. So substitute the value of V equal to V naught by epsilon r. Q naught, V naught, the epsilon r go to numerator. Then after Q naught by V naught, we know that C naught equal to Q naught by V naught. So we can write as this equation C equal to epsilon r and Q naught V naught we write as C naught. Since in this case epsilon r greater than 1, we have C greater than C naught. Thus insertion of the dielectric constant, the epsilon r, increases the capacitance. Already we know the equations of C equal to epsilon r epsilon naught A by D, which means epsilon r and epsilon naught, the product of epsilon r and epsilon naught can write as epsilon, which means permittivity of the dielectric medium. And the energy stored in the capacitor before the insertions of dielectric we can write as U naught equal to 1 by 2 Q naught squared by C naught. In second case, after the dielectric is inserted, the charge Q naught is remains at constant, but the capacitance is increases. As the result, the energy stored in a capacitor is decreased. So we can write as U equal to 1 by 2 Q naught squared by C equal to 1 by 2 Q naught squared. So C we can write as C equal to epsilon r into C naught. So C we can write as epsilon r into C naught. So simplify the terms of 1 by 2 Q naught squared and C naught, we can write as U naught by epsilon naught. In these conditions, since epsilon naught is greater than 1 and we get U less than U naught, so there is a decrease of energy because the dielectric in the inserted or the capacitor spends some energy to pulling the dielectric inside. The next topic we are going to see about capacitors connected in series. Consider three capacitors, namely C1, C2, C3 are connected in the combinations of series with a battery providing voltage V. As soon as the battery is connected to the capacitors in series, the electron charge minus Q or transferred from the negative terminal to the right of the plate C3. Right means this side, which is this side. Right of the plate of C3, which pushes the same amount of electron to the left of the plate of C3 from the left of the plate of C3 to the right of the plate of C2. So the electron, which means the negative charges pushes from this side. So the negative charges carries to the right side of the C2 plate, C2 capacitors. Similarly, the same way, the right side of the C2 plate pushes the same amount of charges of minus Q in the right side of C1, this one. According to the process of, the positive charges can be produced in the manner of electrostatic induction. Here, by this capacitor, in this concept, by this process of capacitors, the stores the same amount of charges. In this process, the charge must be same. The three capacitors accuse of having same amount of charges Q. The charges does not different from the each of the capacitor. Only changing that the C1 capacitor having potential difference V1 and C2 V2. Similarly, C3 accuse of V3. So we can find the total voltage across each capacitor must be equal to the voltage of the battery. The total voltage of the each capacitor, which is equivalent to the voltage of the battery. So we can measure mathematically V equal to V1 plus V2 plus V3. Since we know that capacitance formula C equal to Q by V, we know the value of V or Q, whatever it is. So we need the value of V. So V equal to Q by C. So we can write as V1 equal to Q by C1 and V2 equal to Q by C2 and V3 equal to Q by C3. Since each of the capacitor does not having the change of the value of Q because of same amount of charge. So we take it outside of Q commonly. So open bracket 1 by C1 plus 1 by C2 plus 1 by C3. So similarly, we can write as common term the total voltage of the battery V equal to Q by Cs. Why we are putting the Cs? The capacitors are connected and the combinations of Cs. So we can write as this one V equal to Q by Cs. So commonly the term of Q will be neglected. So the capacitors connected in series combinations, finally we get the equations of 1 by Cs equal to 1 by C1 plus 1 by C2 plus 1 by C3, which tells us the inverse of the equivalent capacitance of capacitor connected and the combinations of series, which is equivalent to the sum of the individual capacitance of reciprocal value. In another thing, the equivalent capacitance Cs always less than the smallest value of individual capacitors like a C1, Cs less than C2 or Cs less than C3. In the next topic we are going to see about capacitance in parallel equivalent capacitance. Let us consider three capacitors, namely C1 and C2, C3 connected, which is parallel to each other to connecting to the battery. Battery also connected in the parallel component. Here C1 having a charge of Q1 and C2 having a charge of Q2 and C3 having a charge of Q3, which means the charge will be provided from the battery. The charge will be passes at the point the charge will be distributed. C1 occurs of Q1 and C2 occurs of Q2 and C3 occurs of Q3. Corresponding to the charge must be not even C. Only the potential difference of the each capacitor will be same. In this diagram, the potential difference does not changes, only changing of the charges. So same process. According to the law of conservation of total charge, the sum of these three charges is equal to the charge of Q transferred by the battery. So we can write as Q equal to Q1 plus Q2 plus Q3. Since we know that Q equal to CV, so substituting the value of Q equal to Q1 equal to C1V, because of the potential difference does not changes with respect to the each of the capacitor. So Q2 equal to C2V plus Q3 equal to C3V. Similarly, the total charge can be represented as Cp because of the capacitors are connected in the parallel combination. So we can write as Q equal to Cpv. So put the value of Q in these equations. So Q equal to Cpv and remaining Q1 equal to C1V plus Q2 equal to C2V and Q3 equal to C3V. In this term, commonly we are taken out the V. So we are taken out V, remaining C1 plus C2 plus C3. So in this left side Cpv, we are neglecting V and V, remaining component will be Cp equal to C1 plus C2 plus C3. This is tells us the equivalent capacitance of a capacitors in parallel combinations, which is equivalent to the sum of the individual capacitance. Sum of the individual capacitance. And this equation tells us that is Cp is always greater than the largest individual capacitance, which means Cp greater than C1, Cp greater than C2, Cp greater than C3.